foot injury since about 2005.
Yeah,
I think he has.
he came out of the womb with a sprained ankle.
It's just incredible, isn't it?
Oh, man.
The next game is the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. The Bills are 22nd in our power rankings. The Jets are 23rd. They are also favored by 3 points at home. The power rankings rule is that you do get a 2 point. You get 2 points off your ranking if you are the home team. So the power rankings will take the New York Jets. If I don't have an interesting stat from the NFL information department, I will provide you with the NFL 100 nugget that they are now providing for every game this season. So back on December 8th in 1963, Buffalo running back Cookie Gilchrist had 243 rushing yards and a franchise record 5 rushing touchdowns in the Bills' 45-13 win over the Jets. These two teams couldn't be more equal. I'll give a slight nod to the home team. And Neil, I'll ask you, can Le'Veon Bell recreate what Cookie Gilchrist did to his beloved Jets back in 1963?
I have no idea. I was just thinking what a lovely word nugget is. But it's I think the Jets and the Bills, this is the battle for second place, isn't it? In the end,
really
East. Yeah. So home team wins. 2 very closely matched teams. Great to see the 2 second-year quarterbacks going at it.
It will be, especially since us Patriots fans don't really have anything to watch until later in the evening on Sunday. Can watch a couple of division rivals beat each other up. The Tennessee Titans are at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are 9th in our power rankings. This might be the highest debut for the Cleveland Browns since I've even been involved in sports media, which is like 16 years. It's an amazing accomplishment for the Cleveland Browns.
Amazing accomplishment.
And ask you guys something.
What? Yes, Neil.
This is obviously week 1, and in the last few years we've seen a tendency for the offenses to dominate early. Is that right? Am I getting that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that play into you guys' picks for this week? And picking maybe a more explosive looking offense, give that even more credence because it's the opening weeks of the season. Or do you think about that?
I just tried to pick the better teams.
Yeah, I mean, I let the SuperFan power rankings sort of guide me a little bit. Plus, I'd use the Kevin method of picking the better team.
But picking the better team's fine if we're sort of mid-season because you can kind of do that. Now, of course, A, we don't really know how teams are going to be, and B, we know the offenses are going to dominate. So I probably would lean towards the higher scoring teams. From last year, teams that scored highly over them sort of defensively minded teams. So maybe there you would take a Green Bay over Chicago.
The Redskins are going to start 0-3, is what you're saying.
Oh no! I'm trying to make a serious point about whether you would take an offensive juggernaut like the Packers over a defensively strong team like the Bears, because we know early season the offenses are stronger.
That could have factored into my logic, because I do think Aaron Rodgers, he's going to come out slinging. He has nothing to get used to. The Bears defense, preseason is very.
Well, I would say in this particular instance where we're talking about the Browns at number 9 and the Titans at 19 in the power rankings, the Browns, at least on paper, have a much more explosive offense, whereas the Titans are more of a middle of the road to average team. And
grained out.
Vegas sort of says the same thing, as the Browns are favored by 5.5 points. Here's the
up to the minute pod, because the line should move since Ryan Suckup has been placed on injury reserve.
Well,
that's not
Ryan
funny.
Suckup really made that line move. Let's see. I'm going to VegasInsider.com. The beauty of the Vegas Insider is they provide a consensus line based on the Westgate Superbook, MGM Mirage, Play MGM, William Hill, CG Technology, Circus Sports, and Stations. Just in case you wanted to know where I'm getting these lines from. So as I look for the Cleveland Browns, are they off the board right now because of that injury information? That would be really annoying. No, it's right here.
Well,
Still
what really
5.5.
What really
Still
should
5.5.
swing the
Okay.
line in favor of the Browns is, the quarterback on the Titans.
Listen, Marcus Mariota is not that bad. But anyway, here's the cool NFL 100 nugget. On October 5th, 2014, Cleveland trailed 28-3 in the second quarter and overcame the 25-point deficit to defeat Tennessee 29-28. It's the largest comeback by a road team in NFL history.
Next game.
Agreed.
We're all taking the Browns. The Kansas City Chiefs are at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Chiefs are second in our power rankings. The Jags are 18. Chiefs are favored by 4. In the first meeting between the two clubs back on November 9th, 1997, Jacksonville defeated Kansas City 24-10 as the Jaguars defense recorded 6 sacks and forced 5 turnovers. However, the Chiefs have scored 25-plus in 21 consecutive games since December of 2017, December 3rd, 2017. That is the longest such NFL streak. So I don't think the Jaguars are going to be able to recreate that awesome defensive performance. However, Neil, perhaps you do think that's exactly going to happen.
Neil, you've gone crazy.
Yeah, home field advantage. I think they've got Jacksonville need a quarterback, or I should say, the last couple of years, all they've needed at quarterback has been some steady middle of the league standard play. They've been struggling there, obviously, with Bortles and his well below average quarterback play. I think add in Foles there. Hopefully, Fournette's ready to play this year. And the guy I really love in preseason, Josh Allen, the outside linebacker / defensive end of Kentucky last year. He's looked really good. I think Jacksonville are ready to rebound. Kevin mentioned it earlier. They could be the team to rise up and take that division. But
sort of,
Chiefs, who knows? Who knows with the Chiefs?
But sort of to your previous point, you said it takes defenses a little longer to gel.
Sure.
And obviously the Chiefs have the most explosive offense coming into this year. So I don't know. I definitely don't think this is going to be much of a game, but you're entitled to your own opinion.
I think it's honestly, Kevin. I think it's more hopeful than anything. I would quite like to see. I'd quite like to see Mahomes getting a slap just for one week at least.
I mean, so would I.
Mahomes will be missing a target on Sunday because D'Anthony Thomas is suspended for week 1.
Oh,
really matter.
That's a huge blow.
Huge.
It's too bad it's not Tyreek Hill who's been suspended for a few games. But
the problem the Chiefs have is their defensive backs will appear to have gone missing for about 16 weeks this year, and that could be a problem for them throughout the season.
Much like last year, yes.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Rams are taking on the Carolina Panthers. The Rams are 4th in the power rankings. The Panthers are 17th, despite being a West Coast team coming across to the East Coast at a 1:00 kickoff. Rams are favored by 3. Also, despite the fact that the Panthers have won their past 2 games on kickoff weekend and have won their past 2 versus the Rams, they have never beaten Sean McVay's Rams. And I say if it works in hiring coaches, then it works in making picks. And just because Sean McVay is associated with the Los Angeles Rams, I will take the Los Angeles Rams to win this game. And so will everyone else.
Very well.
You see, I don't believe this Sean McVay thing because he has 3 years in Washington, and we are terrible.
Well, apparently
showing up on the injury report is Cam Newton for the Panthers with a foot and Bruce Irving with a hamstring. Nothing big on LA side. Continue.
That foot injury happened during the Patriots preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
Much like the Titans here, their quarterback sucks. So next game.
Well, Jay, is it worth mentioning Jared Goff? Didn't he just get a new deal?
He did. He did. No longer on his rookie deal now. He has been extended for 4 years. That will make things even more interesting for the Rams as they move forward, as they had a lot of room to wiggle with a rookie quarterback. Now they have a little less money for wiggling around in that cap space.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens are at the Miami Dolphins. The Ravens are 16th in our power rankings. Dolphins are 32nd. That is last place. So they're in line for the number one pick in the 2020 NFL draft. They, by the way, were also the team that we had the most consensus on as SuperFans ranking all of the teams. Baltimore is favored by 7. Power rankings are going to take the Ravens. We probably don't need to have this breakdown, but Don, our Raven superfan, was kind enough to send in a few words about what he thinks will happen in this game. So, Don, take it away.
Hey, this is Raven superfan Don here with my weekly report on the Ravens. The Ravens are obviously at Miami this week. The team that everyone says is tanking. They trade away Kenny Stills, Laramie Tunsil. Maybe they're tanking, maybe they're not, but they need to rebuild and rebuild bad, so I understand it. With the Ravens traveling down there, the two things that worry me are obviously the heat and humidity. It's going to be hot, possibly rainy down there. And then, the early case of Fitzmagic. So, Fitzmagic has been very prevalent beginning of these past several seasons. Everyone's on board. I just don't see it. He's older. Ravens defense, I think, will be legit again. Earl Thomas will be in the secondary waiting for him. So, 2 to 3 Fitzpatrick picks wouldn't surprise me. I don't necessarily see the Ravens offense doing having a huge game. I mean, I think they'll wait, with some tricks up their sleeve for their future games, coming up against Pittsburgh and Cleveland. So I don't expect like a huge game from Lamar Jackson, maybe like 225 passing, 75 rushing, 3 total touchdowns. But I don't see this, even with the heat and humidity and everything else. The team will be ready. They'll be hydrated, hopefully, and be ready to go. So I would anticipate probably 24-14 Ravens. Feel pretty good about the game. Not, if I was going to pick any locks of the week, this might be the one, but against the NFL, you never know. But we'll see what happens with the Ravens. Again, 24-14 Ravens is my pick.
And there you go. Don put it perfectly, so we don't need to really say anything more than we're all taking the Ravens. This could have been a lock of the week. I just don't like
it's a lock of the week.
Lock of the game, my first lock of the season to be a road team.
Great job, Don. That was great.
But it's my lock. I picked them for my survivor pool. I don't think the Ravens are going to be any good this year. So I might as well get them out of the way early against the worst team in the league.
Interesting.
Yeah, they'll be missing Kenneth Dixon and Tavon Young on Sunday.
You don't think the Ravens will be any good?
Ingram. No, not really. They don't. I'm not a Lamar Jackson guy. Their defense is good, but that can only. I think they're 8-8 at best.
I'm glad you just said that you're not a Lamar Jackson guy, because the stats will tell you Lamar Jackson not as bad as the picture that has been painted on him.
Trust me, I've read the articles.
He went 6-1 as a starter last year. That's tied for second most wins by a rookie quarterback since 1970. He has a 100+ rating in 2 of 3 career starts on the road. Lamar Jackson, not as bad as you might think he is.
No, he's worse.
Wow. All right. I'm glad I was able to convince you otherwise. Oh, look at this. Here's a nice doozy of a game. The Washington Redskins are at the Philadelphia Eagles. Redskins are 29th in our power rankings. The Eagles are 5th. They're favored by 9.5 points, which is the largest point spread amongst all the teams. It's tied for the largest point spread amongst all the games this week.
Did you say 29th?
Yeah, 29th is
That's
where the Washington.
ridiculous. How did we get so high?
How did you get so high?
I believe it's the personnel that you have on your team.
Oh man,
I was expecting.
I will tell you right now. Let's see here. The range for the Redskins was everywhere from 32 to 20. 32 to 20.
I've got to say, I'm shocked, stunned, and delighted that we got to 29. That's very impressive. Thanks, guys.
Let me see who ranked Washington the highest out of all of us